back at you on this beautiful Friday afternoon. Hopefully you're having a wonderful and blessed day regardless where you're at in the world right now. Be sure to hug your loved ones and tell your loved ones that you love them as much as possible because tomorrow's not promised, certainly not guaranteed. Now with that being said, I wanted to make this video today a little bit different. Yes, you heard that right. I want to make it a little bit different because there's a YouTuber in the YouTube community doing this true crime stuff called Operation Z Project. Yes, you heard that right. Operation Z Project, ladies and gentlemen. And what's going on is he's come upon a theory that will blow your mind, ladies and gentlemen, that will blow your mind. And last night he issued a challenge on anybody who could challenge a conspiracy theory to a regular theory. And I love strategizing. I love the art of war. And I was prepared to come at him, ladies and gentlemen. I was prepared to come at him with everything I had. But you got to understand something. He started making sense. Yes, you heard that right. This dude started making sense. Because I rewatched several of his videos to get my information going about my strategy and my argument that I was going to bring to the table. And I'm like, you know what? This dude's onto something. This dude is really onto something. So I started reading about the MK Ultra, and I started reading into different mind control and different hypnosis and all kinds of stuff. Needless to say, I was up all night. Got me about 6-7 hours of sleep. I'm on it again today because I truly believe all the pieces of the puzzle, they ain't fitting together. They're not fitting together. And what if now, and please don't lose me on this, we know horrible tragedy happened. We know that. We can go ahead and clarify that a horrible tragedy has happened. All right? We can clear that right out at the get-go. But what if, ladies and gentlemen, what if everything that happened to Chris Watts was pre-planned? I mean, why? Out the get-go, you heard it yourself when the three detectives, when they went to Wisconsin to interview Chris Watts, they said, we ain't here to charge you. We ain't going to get you no more charges. We can't do nothing else. The case is closed. And by all means, good golly. What?
Just to stop really quick in response. I mean, you can argue. Now, I've got more in my arsenal. But even if you wanted to come at me, which I'm glad you made the decision not to, because I've got a full arsenal. You know, I would not stake my channel if I was wrong or I thought I could possibly be wrong. There's not even a 1% chance I'm wrong. Now, when you actually do the research into this, buddy, what you need to look for is the fact that Nicole Kessinger has no beginning and no end. She just has an in the middle. A year prior, she Googles Shanann. It's like she's getting her information, she's getting her ammunition ready so that she could see exactly what not to be when she approaches Chris. Now, they target certain people with certain personality characteristics. People that spend a lot of time in their own head, people that aren't very social, not very outgoing. These are the people that spend a lot of time thinking that would be very easily brainwashed. Okay, so she sees Chris Watts the night of the murders, activates the command word, whatever it might have been. I'm sure it's got something to do with that damn Metallica song. Activates the word. Now, he said, my wife counted between 13 and 15 times throughout the entire interview. It felt like somebody had implanted something in his head. It felt like somebody had him by the hand, guiding him to do it. Now, he also said, he described everything that I had said for weeks leading up to this interview. And he described that's what he was feeling the entire time. It's not a shock to me. Now, he didn't know he was going to kill the kids. He was pre-programmed to kill Nicole. He brought the kids to the oil site and then decides to do it last minute. He never once thought about what he was going to do to get rid of the body. Hang on. He never thought that far ahead. Why? How could somebody who whose wife is on social media every 30 seconds, getting phone calls for work every 30 seconds. He knows what her schedule's like, and he knows that people are going to be missing her almost instantly. And yet he didn't think out how he was going to get rid of the bodies. He never thought out a well-planned story, nothing. Because he was programmed to kill. He wasn't programmed to hide the fact. He was just programmed to kill. He didn't know what the fuck... He didn't know he was even programmed to kill, so how the hell is he going to make plans to get rid of the bodies? Think about this for a minute. There's no record. And I've been saying since day one, everyone kept saying, Nicole's a geologist, you don't know what you're talking about. Then how come there's no record of her school? There's no graduation records, there's no high school records, there's no middle school records. There's nothing on Nicole Kessinger at all in any way, shape, or form. But with every lie, there's just a pinch of truth in there. So when I saw the profile picture for Guido, and then I started researching social medias, there's no other social media with this guy. So then, the only one part of it, geologist at Sunburst Consulting. I go to Sunburst Consulting, and Jim is a man named Jim Sidam, which is the owner of the company. The guy that made the profile picture under Guido is not the owner of the company. And he's not Jim. I found his picture under a different name. Jim is Jim Sidam, the owner of the company. So then I went to the Department of Corporations in Colorado. October 11th, 2016, 2 years before the murder, a branch of Sunburst was opened up in Colorado. Right around the time she would have been researching Shanann. Now, she was hired to work in the office, not the field, as a geologist. People wanted to say she was a geologist. Well, that's fine. Prove it. It's like I'm saying. I've done my homework. You can't prove it because there's no record of it. All there is a piece of paper stating what she was. Now, where did this paper come from? Who is the very first website, or the first YouTube channel to start posting on the Watts case? The one that seems to have information nobody else in the world has. I think Plunder's one of them. How are they getting this information, and where the fuck are they getting it from? This true crime story. Where would they get the information that she was a geologist? Then people started saying her dad's a 33rd degree Mason. And I'm like, well, I doubt it. You know, Freemasons aren't like the bigger groups, but whatever. And they kept talking about, well, you got to see where her dad stormed into the interrogation and the way he stormed in and did this and said this and okay. So I start looking for an interrogation with Nicole Kessinger where the father busts in. There isn't one. No such fucking interview exists. No such interrogation exists where this alleged father bursts in. It don't exist. His voice isn't there. He's not there. There's no such interrogation. It doesn't exist. So then I start researching Department of Corporation Sunburst officers of the corporation. Rachel Nicole Kessinger was an officer of the corporation. Officer meaning owner. She had to have owned a percentage to be an officer. Technically can be considered an employee, but to become an officer, that means you file a subcontracting company, you file a corporation with the state, and you have to list your officers. I've done this a few times. Well, your officers have to own at least a minimum of 10 to 20% of your company. She was an officer as a subcontractor under Bablitz LLC, Limited Liability Corporation. All those records have since been stripped. I went there and they're all scrubbed. You cannot find these records in the Department of Corporations with Colorado no more. They're gone. All that's left is what I have on my phone. So I challenge anybody. It's not that the puzzle doesn't fit. There's no fucking puzzle. That's what I've been trying to say since day one. You know, at first I started making videos on Chris Watts because I was so shocked that somebody could just kill their family. So then I start watching videos, and it only took 4 or 5 days before I started seeing, okay, this doesn't fit the pattern. He's a loving father, a loving husband that allows his wife to pretty much control everything. Sure, you see men snap and beat the shit out of their wife occasionally, but for a guy, your typical suburban family, that's what they knew would shock the nation. He was a target. So it's not that the pieces to the puzzle don't fit. There's no fucking puzzle, man. It's just no puzzle. Find Nicole Kessinger. I challenge you. Find Nicole Kessinger. There's nothing. Now, once these videos start to spread, Give it a month, and they're going to have to create some kind of a facade around Nicole Kessinger just to debunk my theory. But as of right now, I stand by what I'm saying. How will fake records just appear out of nowhere? Because that's what's going to happen, mark my words. Once these videos spread, eventually you're going to start seeing fake credentials pop up on the internet of where Nicole went to school and where she got her geology shit, and none of that stuff exists now. But watch, in a month, it's just going to pop up out of nowhere once these videos start to spread. And these people got the power to do that. They could fucking go in the computer and make it look like she's had a normal childhood in some rich Texas fucking neighborhood. And that's what's going to happen, mark my words. But as of right now, she don't exist. She's a ghost. She has no elementary school. She has no high school. She doesn't have prom photos. She doesn't have yearbook photos. There's nothing on this woman. She pops up out of nowhere in 2016. 2017, Andorco has a huge explosion in a residential area. I believe there was a couple fatalities, a couple deaths. Now all of a sudden, Nicole Kessinger pops up out of nowhere. No beginning, no end. She pops up out of nowhere, manipulates Chris, then she vanishes just as quick, and there's no record on where she went and where she began. She's just a ghost. She's gone. So, man, I'll still take the challenge if you want to give it, but you seem to have a good head on your shoulders. You seem to know what the hell you're talking about, and you're a very well-spoken guy. If you want to contact me at Noahva, Noahava 1977 at gmail.com. I'll email you back. We can get in touch with each other, and I'll let you know some of the ammunition that I got and where I come up with this information. Because there's a lot of stuff that I'm not going to put on the internet for the safety of my family. Now, me personally, if it was just me here, I wouldn't give two shits, but I've got kids to think about. But just know when you're doing this research, I'm not wrong. This is what happened. So, that being said, you guys check this guy out, subscribe to his channel. He seems to be on good thinking points. He seems to have his shit together. Actually, what's his name? Bishop one something. I can't remember the name. If he's watching my videos, he'll see it. But what the hell's his name? I'll post something with this guy's name in there. I can't remember. It's something Bishop with some numbers behind it. Somebody just left a comment in my comment box about the guy, so I decided to check the video out.